Well, I've reached a conclusion over the past few months. It is that getting a job, or at least another job from the one I currently have, is impossible. Um, I would say there are several factors that lead me to that belief, right? Just the ever present time wasting where you have these companies, and people have done videos about ghost jobs and these listings that, of course, the place is not actually trying to get filled out. It just looks good for them to tell their current employees, oh, help is on the way, while it never actually appears. But beyond that, you have these waste of time interview setups and interview schedules, just a lot of things that don't go anywhere on purpose. Right, like I talked about how last year, actually year before last year, there was a company who that had me go to two job interviews or two Zoom ones, whatever. And during these two interviews, you talk to them, you answer all their questions, they ask you about your experience, when can you start, all the documents that you'll need, da 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 da. And then they said they hired me. And then after I went and filled out some of the forms for them to, I guess, start me, for the onboarding process or whatever the terms they use for when you begin working somewhere, they send me a Dear John letter. After careful consideration, we don't think you'll be a good fit for our company. We thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to scream. But a lot of them don't even tug you along that long. There are many places where you'll fill out like a resume, not a resume. You'll send in your resume for some application, and then 2, 3, 4 days later, hey, can you join this interview that we're going to do at this time today or tomorrow? And then you join the interview, you talk to them for however long. Hey, thanks for showing up to the interview. We have decided to move forward in another direction, or if they don't say that, they invite you to some other interview where, again, it's just repeating the same things they said during the other one, just again to get to that result of not being employed. Um, it's just it's been a really frustrating 4 months, right? Because I talked about how I really aggressively started looking for something else after my current job started barely giving me any hours, which they've been persisting in doing over the past several months, and I think it's amazing how if a person just wants to work, right? They because we people by and large need a job to take care of themselves. If a person just wants to work, they're expected to piss out hundreds of applications, if not every month, every year. Go to, in some cases, dozens of interviews that can be over, Zoom or the phone or in another city, 10 miles away, 20 miles away, 30 miles away. No compensation for all this gas that gets wasted with just going to this stuff that leads nowhere. And then at the end of all of this, if you end up not having a new job or a better job, or you can't afford the things you need to take care of yourself, then you're told you're lazy and that you don't want to work. I really sat here thinking about how varied my search has been, right? Because I said I worked at a restaurant, but I've been open to doing all types of work. Driving jobs, construction stuff, working in warehouses. At one point, caregiving. Uh, and I said it's amazing how, like, you apply for a driving job. What do they want out of you? Oh, if they're halfway decent, then they're only capable of having you for barely any hours. And if they're extreme, and this is what I've started noticing, the jobs that are reciprocating or showing any interest in me are like garbage, like just trash. Like, perfect example, there was a job I talked about where they wanted me to drive 30 miles a day, Monday through Friday, for 3 hour shifts, where I would pick up food and then deliver it to these different locations that they had. So you're supposed to drive 30 miles to and back from this place, 60 miles a day just to go to and from work. And then when you're at work, you have to keep driving and using up even more gas to perform the functions of the job. Oh, and also they told me so they told me to come in at 9 a.m. the night before. So like 5, 6, 7 o'clock the night before, hey, come in tomorrow morning. And anytime a job does that, that instantly makes me kind of revolted because there are basic accommodations that you have to make for people's schedule. Like a lot of times when you apply for a job, they'll ask you, when can you start working for us? Like when can you put in your 2 weeks at your current place, or when will you be available to start? How the hell do you just call somebody and then, hey, I know it's 4, 5, 6 o'clock tonight. Can you come in tomorrow morning with a car that doesn't have anything in it, presumably? Just nuts. The other part of this, and again, this is another example of these driving jobs where I had another one that was talking about, can you, yeah, you can drive for us, but you have to use your own car, which a non-starter. And that's one of the reasons why they're not getting any people to actually work for them, because look at how much is on the person who just wants to work. Man, we've reached a real cavalcade of just insanity. If you get hired, if you apply for a job, you get your time wasted with some interview that goes nowhere, or some application that they don't even look at or read or anything. And then if you get hired by somewhere like I did with my job, current one, they might use you so little that you can't even hardly make anything off of working there. And man, I look in my emails some days, especially from the period of November and December when I was really like ratcheting it up, just trying anything to get something else besides the filth I'm stuck with currently. And they always have some goddamn excuse for why they can't give a person a chance. Oh, you don't have enough experience. Oh, we've decided that we have a high volume of candidates. I'm just tired of it. Like, because as I said before, it should not be this hard to just start working somewhere. I go around my town, I see all these now hiring signs. And I'm not kidding. That's again like part of this whole scam nature of the rotten society. There's a company that put up a now hiring, and I've applied to them in the past. So if they hadn't put this up, I wouldn't have even tried because I already know what time it is with them. But they put up a now hiring sign, and I go and I fill out the information, I answer the questions, and I get a generic, because you're talking to a machine. After it asks you what position do you want, oh, thank you for applying. Currently, we are filled. The interviewer's calendar is full, but we will let you know in 3 business days if we're available. And guess what? 1 business day passes, 2 business days pass, 3 business days pass, and no attempt at reaching out to you, no attempt at contacting you, because again, all of this stuff is leading to you having nothing. Like there's no benefit or progression with it at all. Some places again will string you along a lot longer than others, and it's just you're damned if you damned if you don't. If you get one of the crappy ones that wants you, you're barely going to make any money, right, or enough to survive regardless. And then if you don't apply, then people will just say you don't want to work. That's they have their just world fallacy blinders on. But yeah, it's impossible. I still apply just as like a joke, I'll apply here, apply there, but I don't think I'll get a new one anytime soon. I think what will most likely happen is that I'll reach the threshold for like maximum unemployment at my current job, and then just, I guess, get a little bit more money with that for a while, and while quitting from there. But I don't think I'm going to get another job anytime soon. They're playing so many damn games, and as I said before, in a world that made sense, if a person wants to work, they should be able to put an application at 10 places, 20 places, and get hired somewhere like that. But this extreme selectivity, I mean, honestly, I would be wagered to say it might be easier to get into an Ivy League school than to work at some of these damn companies. They're nuts. So that's all I can say. I'm just frustrated.